Form is a function of fitness and freshness. It's now Wednesday, and my first of two key races is this coming Sunday. And I'm looking at doing a VO2 max workout today. Hey cycling community, this is Steve Bruce's The Cycling Greek. This key race comes about a week and a half after the end of my mid-season endurance block. Last week I started off with my VO2 max workout, my first one in quite a while, and I wasn't able to do it because of this whole weather thing that we had. That included thunderstorms, lots of lightning and rain, and this is Central California toward the end of June. So I went in and did a couple of Zwift races, got a little bit of work in there, but nothing like the structured workout I wanted to do. Now, the following Saturday started the beginning of a 3-day block for me. And that's where I was able to start my VO2 max work. I wasn't able to complete everything. It was the first one in a while, and those are pretty tough. And so I was starting to get a little concerned about my race coming up. But I was able to get ample work in. The next day, I had about 4.5 hours of focused endurance and tempo work. It started off with me scampering for about an hour to get to the start to meet the others. Now, they were being a little delayed, and I wanted to avoid that initial, take off in the beginning rush with everybody, because this was a strong group I was with. So I took off before they did. And about half hour later, I was surprised I stayed away from them for about half an hour, and part of that's because they were probably delayed in coming out. They caught me, and they caught me at the last of these two little climbs, and they attacked on that climb. I wasn't able to stay with them, but I connected with one of their people who also wasn't able to stay with them. So we then worked for about 20 to 30 minutes, quite strongly, to get to the turnaround point. At the turnaround point, I took off before they did, bypassed that initial strong start, or potential strong start, and I rode with a couple of friends of mine who I hadn't ridden with for quite a while, and we rode for about 20 minutes before the group caught me. I stayed with them for a little bit, and again lost them on this last sprint hill. The third day of the block, Monday, I took the afternoon off and I did 2+ hours of zone 1 work in the heat. It ranged from 104 to 106 degrees. Next day I took off, that's yesterday. Today's Wednesday. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'll have 4 days before my race comes up, so I should be recovered by then. This is going to be my last hard workout. But it was ordinarily I wouldn't be doing this harder workout leading up to an important race, but I feel I'm a little bit behind. I'm strong in other areas. My weight is doing well. I'm like 159.5, which is, relative to recent history, surprisingly light. The workout I'm going to do today is VO2 max work, of course, but it's going to be over-unders, and it's going to be more toward a time trial based of style. My next race, it's going to be an important race for me, is going to be in about 5 weeks. And it's also going to have a 3-mile climb in it. We'll be doing twice. So the type of VO2 max work I'm going to be doing in a couple weeks is going to be different than the type I'm doing now. My main goal for today is to actually complete the workout. Let's get at it. My workout plan was to do 2 sets of over-unders. 2 minutes at the lower end of my VO2 max, which will be 290 to 310 watts, then 2 minutes at the top of my sweet spot, which is approximately 262 watts. Each set would consist of 2.5 repetitions. I'd start off with overs, and I'd finish with overs. So it'd be over, under, over. When I did this workout this past Saturday, I couldn't quite finish 1 set. Today, I was able to do 1.5 sets. After that half-second set, that's when the problems start manifesting. It was as if my energy had just completely left my body. I was starting to think I was going to have a hard time getting to the top. And then all the problems I was going to have being able to complete the race in 4 days, much less compete with everyone else. I turned around. Well, that workout had mixed reviews. So you saw I cut cut it early. This would have been a 55-mile ride, but I cut it down to about 37 miles. When I did my over-unders, let's see, on Saturday, I got one set, and then I did a series of 2-minute efforts, like 3 or 4 of them throughout the rest of the climb. Then I did my 30-30s on the wall. Well, this time my intent was to do 2 over-under intervals, and I got through 1.5 of them. So slight improvement, but I was getting tired after that. I mean, when I was just doing endurance the rest of the way up after that second half interval, and a set, I should say. I did 1.5 sets. So I would have continued on if I didn't have a race this weekend, but I turned around because of that form is a function of fitness and freshness. I needed to get some freshness, I guess. I needed more than a day off between the 3-day block that I had just completed earlier in the week. Okay, so that introduces some doubts into the equation. So all I can do now is just rest. I'm going to do my leg openers on Saturday. The race is on Sunday, of course, and I'm not going to do anything on Friday. On Thursday, if I do anything, it's going to be zone 1 for about 90 minutes or something. I made an effort to lose a little extra weight this last week. Otherwise, it's been pretty consistent. About 175 pounds that I weighed on December 1st, and like I said earlier, 159.5 now. And this is like 6 months later, so I wasn't being maniacal about taking a lot of weight off all at once. So that may be a factor with me picking it up on this last week. I think I lost a couple pounds or so, 1.5 pounds. Anyway, I guess we'll wait till Sunday. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. As always, remember, comment, like, subscribe, and I'd love to hear your comments on this. The Cycling Greek.